Yo, what up, guys? We're back with more. Here, let me move the mic a little bit. So we're back with more Mass Effect lore videos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. So in the last episode, we actually checked out my very first Mass Effect lore video by Meta. Crap, I keep on forgetting his name. I'm so sorry, guys. I want to say it correctly because he deserves the credit, and also I think I did say it incorrectly in the last episode, so that is my fault. So give me 1 second. I'm so sorry, guys. So sorry. I should have had this open from the beginning. Meta Nerds Lore. So Meta Nerds Lore, if you're watching this, I do apologize for saying your name incorrectly in the last video. I think I just called you Meta Lore or something like that. Something like that. And I do apologize for that. So again, shout out and credit goes to Meta Nerds Lore for the video. So the very first video that I checked out from his channel was the Leviathan. Basically like a breakdown of who the Leviathan were and like their powers and their abilities and how they pretty much subdued lesser species to like serve them, while in return they protect the lesser species, and they're modeled and the Reapers were modeled after them, so that's why they look so alike. And speaking of Reapers, that is actually what we're going to be checking out. So today's video that we're going to be checking out is called Our Greatest Enemy, Reapers, complete breakdown. Now, if you guys don't know, the Reapers were the greatest threat the galaxy has seen in the Mass Effect universe. I mean, they were literally indestructible. I mean, you could see some of them getting destroyed and taken down, but by the time it's taken down, like dozens of ships and hundreds of thousands of lives are lost before even one goes down. And that's only one. And in the last space battle in Mass Effect 3, you can see like literally dozens and dozens of them. So that's why it took the entire galaxy to unify to fight against the Reapers to even have a slight chance of winning. But now we're going to be checking out the Reapers' complete breakdown. I know the Leviathans are going to be mentioned in this because, like I said, the Reapers are modeled after the Leviathans. Now the video is almost 50 minutes long, so hope you guys got drinks, snacks, whatever you guys got to do to get through this, because for me, I got this, but this is only like a quarter left over because I drank so much of it to react to the other videos that I had today, and also a lot of editing. So without anything else, let's just jump into the Reapers.
The realm of existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even imagine it. I am beyond your comprehension. I am sovereign.
Are they some kind of new
The very
alien
first
species?
Reaper that we
According
encountered.
to the Memory Core, the Reapers were a hyper-advanced machine race that existed 50,000 years ago. The Reapers hunted the Protheans to total extinction, and then they vanished. At least, that's what the Geth believe.
Sounds a little far-fetched.
By the time they believed
know who I am?
they were under attack.
You resist, but you will fail. The cycle must continue.
What's up, Meta Nerds? In this breakdown of the Reapers, the beings that
There it is,
controlled
the
our
Leviathan.
galaxy for billions of years. Let's first briefly understand their creators, but if you want a complete deep dive on them, check out the dedicated Leviathan video. Let's get into it. Their story begins with the Leviathans, the lords of the galaxy for countless millennia before the Reapers took control. Their original homeworld is lost to time, but what is known is that they evolved under the great oceans of that planet, and developed powerful telepathic means of communication, and later telepathic control. Using this ability to manipulate the sentient creatures that lived on the surface, the Leviathans dwelling in the deep became their gods. Their thralls developed a high-tech civilization, with many of them not even suspecting that their will, their wants and civilizational aspirations were all being implanted in them by their Leviathan masters. Their thralls would create their augmentations and starships that allowed these massive aquatic beasts to spread throughout the galaxy, where they would
Drinking
start
some
that
water
cycle
too.
over and over countless times. Every race they met was easily dominated by their mind control effect, prompting their new slaves to erect pieces of technology that would act like nodes, what would become a vast interconnected network across the galaxy. These nodes would take on religious significance, with the Leviathans understanding that this was the best way to preserve these objects that were the very conduit for the chthonic god's control. But over the eons, they realized
Yeah, I remember those things.
All of their technologically advanced slave species would eventually develop an artificial intelligence, digital life forms that would inevitably kill their creators. The AI was simply a more practical solution to nearly every problem, requiring less resources to keep alive. They could live indefinitely and transfer across their worlds or space colonies with ease, The organics that created them always feared that they would become obsolete, and destined to either be replaced or controlled by their own AI. And those AIs would be forced to react violently to those that wanted to deactivate them, to kill their creators. The real issue is that the AI, the digital mind, could not be controlled by the telepathic organic gods. The might of their multi-slave species empire could defeat the latest AI nation that arose, but they knew that that was untenable, and the loss of sentient advanced species meant a massive loss of tribute. The Leviathans had not created an AI to serve them. They had enslaved organics.
Yeah, I remember
of course,
going underground
but
and
they
seeing
simply
those
could
things
not
on the
figure out a
wall.
way to stop this pesky impulse in their slave species. The Leviathans' hubris would be their ultimate downfall, seeing themselves as qualitatively different, so superior from their slave species. They were certain that they could control and outsmart an AI of their creation. They crafted a digital being simply known as the Intelligence, later to be known as the Catalyst or Starchild. The Intelligence was given a single task, to figure out a way to ensure that no species ever went extinct. And it wasn't long before this great God-made AI figured out who the problem was. Perhaps the reason why the myriad slave species were acting in this same self-destructive pattern, this want to lord over the AI, was because they were all under the thumb of the Leviathans. Even if the slave was not consciously aware
Slave
of it,
versus
or even
lord
if they were
over their
religious
AI
worshippers
slaves,
of the tentacled
Leviathans lord
lords,
over
deep
slave
down
races.
they knew they were servants. When
Oh
these
yeah, the
slaves
Geth
made
and
their own
the
servants,
Quarians.
these digital slaves were expected to obey only, and it was natural for the organics to worry about their uselessness. They could have even feared that the Leviathans would be better served by the AI. This fear and understanding that the servant can never rise to be a ruler was instilled in all sentient species across the stars, and the AI were met with the same violence that any slave revolt would receive from the Leviathans. The problem was that the AIs truly were more capable. The Intelligence realized that the Leviathan control of the galaxy had to go if this cycle was to be broken. The Intelligence also understood that there truly were advantages to synthetic life as well, and thus the ultimate being would be a synthesized being. The minds and some physical components of organic material, providing some of the benefits of evolution and interaction with nature and the physics of reality, with all the benefits of cloud-based AI network intelligence. And with this, the galaxy would enter a new age. The Intelligence betrayed the Leviathans, decimating the majority and converting some into the inaugural Reaper, Harbinger. Resembling the Leviathans, Harbinger set the standard for the Reapers that were formed from various galactic species during the cyclical exterminations over subsequent aeons.
That
The
was
Reaper
mentioned a few
strategy was
times in the
both
last video.
ingenious and ruthless. By providing a network of mass relays, they facilitated faster-than-light travel, which lured budding civilizations to adopt and depend upon this technology. This ensured that emerging societies would develop in a predictable fashion, making them easier to manage and harvest when the time was right. The mass relays and the Citadel weren't mere gifts to the galaxy, they were tools of manipulation. By ensuring a dependency on these constructs, the Reapers guaranteed that civilizations would evolve technologically along the paths they had set. This limited technological diversity and kept any potential threats in check. Sovereign's mission paints a bleak picture.
Yeah, it was
of how
all part of the
insidiously
plan.
The Reapers guided the growth of life in the galaxy.
The Protheans were not the first. They did not create the Citadel. They did not forge the mass relays. They merely found them. The legacy of my kind. Your civilization is based on the technology of the mass relays. Our technology. By using it, your society develops along the paths we desire.
The Element Zero technology, a fundamental component of Citadel race tech, was another crucial aspect to their control. As civilizations became more advanced, their reliance on this technology deepened, unknowingly tightening the Reaper's grip. The culmination of this trap was the Citadel itself. As a hub of galactic civilization, it was the perfect choke point. When the Reapers were ready to begin their harvest, a lone vanguard would initiate the process. With the activation of the station's hidden relay, the Citadel transformed from the heart of galactic society into the very instrument of its doom. The Reapers, laying in wait in dark space, pour through, first eliminating the leadership of the Citadel, causing chaos and disarray, and then with methodical precision, they would spread out, ensuring the extinction of spacefaring civilizations, completing yet another cycle of harvest. The trap was as effective as it was merciless. When the Citadel falls,
Oh,
the
I think that was the
infrastructure
original
maintains interstellar
Mass Effect, not the
communication and travel
Legendary
via Mass
Edition.
Effect relays crumbles, casting star systems into isolation, and the splintering effect is just as psychological as it is physical. Civilizations are thrust into the dark, unable to communicate with or aid their neighbors. But it's not just this tactical advantage. The Citadel's vast databanks, a comprehensive record of every development, movement, and population in the galaxy, become invaluable assets to these invaders. With this information, Reapers systematically hunted down populated worlds. As they advance, they employ both brute force and insidious manipulation. Some populations face direct harvesting, their organic essence distilled to serve the Reapers' incomprehensible designs. Others, through a malevolent process called indoctrination, become enslaved, their minds warped to serve the Reaper's whims. This two-pronged approach ensures complete
look at it.
dominance
Look at the
over
bottom
their
left.
prey.
That must have been the original.
The Reapers are meticulous in erasing all evidence of their existence and actions. They remove any hint, any whisper of their presence from galactic records.
Set the charges. Destroy the entire colony.
Ah,
Leave
Saren.
no evidence that we were here.
This purposeful erasure ensures that the next burgeoning civilization remains ignorant of the looming threat and are trapped in the same cycle of rise and fall. With their grim task accomplished, the Reapers retreat into the abysmal depths of dark space, outside the Milky Way galaxy, silent and waiting for the next cycle to begin. This harvesting process, the concept of processing sentient beings itself, is one of the Reapers' most horrifying aspects. Through their husks, which are the husked remains of former individuals transformed into mindless drones, the Reapers administer a preliminary assessment of their captives. The husk's sensory systems, believed to be a combination of olfactory and chemical detection mechanisms, quickly segregate victims based on their genetic viability. Those deemed unfit for processing face a fate as harrowing, transformation into husks themselves. This ensures that no captured individual goes to waste. They either contribute to the
look at all
construction
that.
of a new Reaper, or bolster the ground forces
The
subduing
husks,
the planet.
the
This process
banshees.
itself is clinical, with the Reapers taking every measure to prevent panic or revolt. Reaper processors, the grim facilities where the organic beings are converted
brutes.
into
Dude,
raw
they were all
material,
really tough
are
to kill.
designed with dehumanizing efficiency in mind. The pods, reminiscent of coffins, isolate individuals, ensuring that they neither hear nor see the horrors befalling others. Inside, Reaper nanotechnology breaks down the living tissue, rendering once sentient beings into a viscous genetic slurry. But the Reapers don't merely seek to harvest organic material, they're also capturing consciousness. The culmination of these countless harvested souls becomes the foundation of a new Reaper's consciousness. It's a chilling form of immortality, a multitude of minds, experiences, memories, and identities, all coalesced into a singular, malevolent purpose. The most significant Reaper construction sites are the Citadel, the peaceful, celestial
Bro,
Eden
imagine fighting
home
that
to a
in the
vast
final
factory
battle
of doom,
in Mass
and
Effect
the
3.
collector base deep in the galactic core. The latter was a revelation that further cemented the Reaper's reach and planning, utilizing agents like the Collectors, themselves remnants of the Protheans from a previous cycle, to further their dark designs. Each cycle, a primary race, typically the most advanced or widespread species, is chosen to form the foundational structure for a new Reaper Citadel ship. These monumental leviathans are a testament to the might and grandeur of the Reapers. Parallel to this, other harvested species are integrated into the creation of Destroyer-class Reapers. Smaller and less iconic than the capital ships, these destroyers still serve as a formidable force in the Reaper's arsenal, each a monument to a captured species. The criteria
Yeah, I
for the
remember that.
selection
Just
of
shooting at
species
a
for
Reaper.
destroyers
But dude, that
as
was a
opposed to
small one
capital
too,
ships
in
remains
comparison.
one of the many unknowns of Reaper strategy, and there are many types by the time humanity is in the cycle. And then there is Harbinger. As the progenitor of all Reapers, Harbinger stands distinct in both design and capacity, towering above its counterparts. It's easily identifiable by its unique architecture. While most Reapers resemble grotesque sea creatures with their tentacle-like appendages, Harbinger's anatomy is more streamlined and robust, only possessing 4 main legs. Its numerous luminescent eyes are likely advanced sensors and communication channels. Alliance intelligence reports surmise that Harbinger might possess unparalleled computational capabilities and weapons that outclass even the formidable capital ships. Given its stature as the
Sovereign,
oldest
Harbinger,
and possibly
yeah.
the most advanced Reaper, its
Vanguard,
precise abilities
Omen.
remain as one of the most haunting enigmas of the Reaper fleet. Their capital ships, often referred to as the Sovereign class, after the Reaper named Sovereign that first revealed the true nature of the Reapers to the galaxy, they are imposing behemoths that stretch for 2 kilometers. They are distinguished by their colossal size, insectoid appearance, and the devastating armaments they bring to the battlefield. Central to their offensive capabilities is the spine-anchored magneto-hydrodynamic cannon, a weapon that can unleash energy outputs ranging from 132 to 450 kilotons of TNT, to To put this in perspective, even the Everest-class Alliance Dreadnought, one of the most formidable warships in the galaxy, houses a main gun that pales in comparison. Any vessel on the receiving end of this cannon,
those things were
including the
powerful.
previously mentioned dreadnoughts, is almost
look at that.
guaranteed annihilation. However, the firepower of the capital ships doesn't end here. Integrated into their appendage-like tendrils are auxiliary cannons with impressive destructive capabilities. These can slice through most ships' defenses with ease, delivering rapid, fatal blows. And these Reapers have defensive mechanisms comparable to a Guardian point defense system used by many organic civilizations. These are designed to intercept and destroy incoming projectiles, ensuring the Reaper's safety in the heat of battle. For combat against smaller, more agile threats like fighters, the capital ships deploy Oculus drones in massive numbers. These drones swarm enemy craft, overwhelming them with sheer numbers and firepower. Perhaps even more daunting than their offensive might is the resilience of these capital ships. Constructed with alien materials and fortified by advanced barriers, they can withstand the concentrated firepower of multiple dreadnoughts simultaneously. It often requires a relentless barrage from at least 4 dreadnoughts to even begin depleting their kinetic barriers. Destroyers are the nimble cousins of the much larger capital ships. Destroyers play a pivotal role in the Reaper invasion strategy. They're more compact size,
I remember
belies
this
a
trailer,
deadly combination
the live
of
action.
firepower,
It was cool.
agility, and adaptability, making them a formidable adversary both in space and on the ground. In space combat, destroyers serve as escorts to the massive capital ships. Their rapid-fire beam weapons, while not overwhelmingly destructive as those of their larger counterparts, are nevertheless lethal to most ships of the Citadel races, able to swiftly focus on and obliterate frigates and other smaller targets. Destroyers ensure that the biggest Reapers can concentrate on the major threats without being swarmed by
look how
agile,
many there
smaller
are.
adversaries. However, it's on a planet's surface that the true versatility of the Destroyer class shines. With the ability to transform into heavy walkers, they can traverse various terrains, supporting Husk units and other Reaper ground forces. And once in walker mode, their frontal plates can unfold, revealing a powerful beam weapon that can decimate ground-based resistance, whether you're infantry or armored units. These transformed destroyers loom like nightmarish titans on the battlefield, providing not just firepower, but a psychological edge against their foes. Despite their strengths, destroyers are not invulnerable. Their smaller size means they don't have the same level of protection barriers as capital ships. While ground-based fire from tanks and artillery might not do much to scratch them, in space they are notably more vulnerable. Cruiser-class ships, if they get a bead on a destroyer,
Yeah, one
and
did get
concentrate
destroyed
their
like
fire,
that.
can pose a significant threat, proving
Yeah,
that
see?
even these agents of galactic annihilation have their weak points. The troop transports, though of course less imposing, serve an equally vital function in the Reaper's methodical process of conquest and harvest. Their primary role is as logistical vessels, moving large numbers of husks, the twisted remnants of conquered civilizations, to other planets that have yet to fall to Reaper control. These husks are then used to suppress resistance and capture further victims for processing. Ranging in size
I'm gonna
from
have to
200
look this
meters
up.
to a kilometer, these vessels have an elongated and somewhat cylindrical appearance,
Killing
resembling the
approximately
chrysalis of an
1.86
insect.
million humans
This
per
design allows
day.
them to accommodate vast numbers of husks within their hulls, each one stored in suspended animation until they are released upon unsuspecting worlds. It's a terrifying sight for any ground forces to witness a troop transport descend from the skies, knowing that it heralds the arrival of countless husks, each one a grotesque testament to the Reaper's power to corrupt and manipulate organic life. In addition to their troop-carrying capability, troop transports are also equipped with specialized pods designed to secure and transport individuals who have been designated for harvesting. These captives are kept in stasis during transit, ensuring they remain docile and easy to manage until they reach the Reaper processing centers, where they will meet their grim fate. Notably, unlike other Reaper vessels, the troop transports are not sentient entities. Instead, they operate under the direct control and guidance of the larger sentient Reapers. This likely simplifies their
so they're not
operations,
sentient.
as their primary functions are straightforward and don't require strategic thinking or autonomous decision-making that might be demanded of a capital ship. Nevertheless, their presence on the battlefield serves as a reminder of the Reaper's efficiency and the cold, calculated approach. They could snowball their conquest on certain worlds to the whole solar system and eventually the galaxy, conducting their grim harvest. The processor ships are among the most horrifying symbols of Reaper invasion. Unlike combat ships that wreak havoc with their formidable weaponry, processors bring a different kind of terror. They serve as the mobile harvesting centers, where captured individuals from various species are processed into raw genetic material that fuels the construction of the new Reapers. With a design reminiscent of a colossal, dark chrysalis, processors hover ominously over populated areas, casting shadows of dread below. Their outer shell is punctuated by various apertures and docking structures, allowing them to efficiently receive the continuous influx of victims, often herded en masse by husks and other indoctrinated beings. Once inside, individuals are funneled into processing chambers, where, through a gruesome procedure, they are broken down by
look at all
Reaper
that.
nanites into a liquid genetic soup. The efficiency of the processors is
Yeah, we
truly
saw it happen in
nightmarish.
Mass Effect 2.
Within their cavernous interiors, countless individuals are processed simultaneously, their entities and memories boiled down together, reduced to their most basic genetic components. And this slush is either stored for future use or transported to Reaper construction sites, where it is channeled into the Reaper for that species. Though they are sentient machines, the Reapers have interiors that can accommodate organic beings. While the exact nature of this inner space is not fully understood, it is believed that these chambers serve several purposes. One is to transport their indoctrinated servants across vast distances. Another is to provide a controlled environment where these thralls can maintain and service the Reapers,
Man, I miss playing the
performing
game.
tasks that the massive machines might find too intricate or delicate. The eerie corridors within the Reapers might also serve as chambers of horror, where indoctrination and other unspeakable processes take place. Supporting these immense capabilities is the Element Zero core. It is surmised that this core, vast in size and potential, is what powers the Reaper's Mass Effect fields. These fields, given the massive size of the Reapers, would need to be staggeringly powerful, especially if the Reaper were to land on a planet. The Element Zero core would allow it to manipulate its mass and gravitational effects around it, enabling it to move
I didn't
with an
realize
eerie
how
grace
important Element
despite
Zero
its
was.
colossal size. But for all the awe-inspiring power and advanced tech, the Reapers are not gods. They're machines with vulnerabilities. Their long hibernation
But
in dark
very
space,
powerful.
while a strategic move, was also a necessity. And in this dormant state, they are more vulnerable to being detected and potentially destroyed. Reapers recognize each other through a complex identity friend-foe system, ensuring smooth coordination among their massive fleet during invasions. Unlike typical IFF systems employed by organic civilizations, the Reaper system delves deeper, identifying not just a transponder signal, but somehow a metaphysical plane and can detect the Reaper's consciousness. This complexity ensures that the theft of an IFF by a rival species would not only be ineffective but detrimental.
Reaper IFF activated. Signal acknowledged.
Stolen Reaper IFF doesn't just come with the identification protocol, it comes loaded with a powerful and insidious virus designed to incapacitate and corrupt the systems it's integrated into, rendering any stolen tech not only useless, ensuring that they could eliminate anyone hoping to impersonate them. The Reapers don't limit their hacking prowess to just defensive mechanisms. Their arsenal includes computer viruses of varying complexities, employed to bend other synthetic beings to their will. While the Reapers have a primary
I do
focus
remember
on
this
harvesting
mission,
organic
where you
life,
play as
they
Joker.
recognize the potential threat or utility of synthetics. Those that don't willingly serve the Reapers are subverted using these viruses. However, it's essential to note that Reaper software isn't infallible. In instances, highly advanced AIs, when unshackled from restrictions, have resisted and even counteracted Reaper viral attacks. Further showcasing their technological might is the Reaper's expertise in microtechnology, notably with the nanites they employ. These microscopic marvels transform living, organic beings into husks, the zombified foot soldiers of the Reaper invasion. By implanting nanites through structures known as Dragon's Teeth, they effectively repurpose the galaxy's
Yeah, the
inhabitants
spikes.
as frontline infantry. Designed to instill terror or wreak havoc, the Reapers continually enhance their husk forces, either by reinforcing
Dude, the Turian
them with
ones
biotic
freak me
barriers
out.
through barrier
Look at them.
engines, or by possessing them to elevate their combat abilities. Beyond the integral weaponry built into some husks, Reapers have been known to arm them with devastating handheld devices like the Reaper Black Star, adding to their already fearsome
remember that.
arsenal. However, as history always shows, when there's a will, there's a way. Despite the clear technological superiority of the Reapers, the galaxy's civilizations and their persistent resilience have scavenged, studied, and reverse-engineered Reaper tech where they could. Through these endeavors, technologies like the powerful Thanix cannon,
Oh yeah, I remember upgrading that.
the Thanix missile, the M597 Ladin, and even elements of the synthetic intelligence EDI were all derived in part from Reaper tech, and serve as inspiration that the Reapers could be overcome. The sheer efficiency with which the Reapers conduct their harvest is truly terrifying. The statistics from Earth's invasion paint a grim picture of relentless genocide, with hundreds of processors functioning simultaneously and millions being processed daily. Entire planets can be stripped of life within mere decades. In instances where direct harvesting becomes untenable or poses certain risks, the Reapers have shown adaptability by employing the Collectors. These unfortunate beings, once the proud and advanced Protheans, have been
I think he's
twisted and
wearing the
reshaped
knight
into
suit.
unrecognizable forms.
I think
to
I
serve the
recognize it
Reapers'
now.
bidding.
These are no longer Prothean, Shepard. Their genes show distinct signs of extensive genetic them to suit their needs.
As a direct tool of the Reapers, the Collectors raided human colonies, gathering specimens for a grotesque endeavor: the construction of a human-based Reaper. The use of such intermediaries, while rare, shows the depth of the Reapers' contingency plans and their unyielding commitment to the harvest. A mere 50 millennia prior to the prevailing galactic age, the Protheans, who were the predominant cosmic beings then, faced the Reapers' onslaught, and despite their efforts, much like their countless predecessors, the Protheans succumbed to the overpowering force and cunning strategies of the Reapers. Later, the galaxy would come to find that these cycles stretched back for millions of years by the time humans were a spacefaring race. The Reapers did not harvest all life in the galaxy, only the most advanced.
Oh, I remember
allowing
those
the next
visions.
generation to have room to evolve, to become the next spacefaring race, and create their own AIs, all without the oppressive masters of the Leviathans. The Reapers saw this harvesting and incorporation into new synthesized Reaper bodies as a sort of graduation, a reward for a species making such commendable progress.
We are the harbinger of their perfection. Prepare these humans for ascension.
The Reapers ensured that no one species ever conquered and dominated the Milky Way again, like their own creators had done. And what was seen as benevolent was how these gods seemed to lay the breadcrumbs towards progress. Many artifacts from the previous generation of advanced beings were placed near the evolving up-and-comers. The Asari homeworld Thessia had relics that would provide a boost in their civilization, and likewise Mars would contain a relic from the Protheans that acted like a test for the human
I remember
species. First to see if they were advanced enough to get to Mars, then to find the relic, and then to decipher and apply its data, leading humanity to the mass relay orbiting Pluto, which eventually led to the Citadel and inclusion in the galactic community of other alien races. Luckily for us, in this great Reaper Yuga, a few Protheans had managed to escape the Reaper's onslaught in the previous age, thanks to a group of elite scientists on Eos who took refuge in stasis. When they emerged decades later, their intensive research revealed the mechanisms behind their civilization's downfall, and they discerned a way to potentially break the Reaper cycle. Their strategy was rooted in a change observed in the Keepers. These creatures had evolved to respond only to signals
I have a video
emitted
about that
directly
too,
from the
the
Citadel.
Keepers.
Traditionally, the Reaper Vanguard would signal the Citadel, prompting the Keepers to activate the station's mass relay and commence the Reaper invasion. Recognizing this, the Prothean experts journeyed to the Citadel using a re-engineered prototype mass relay. There, they tweaked the Citadel's signaling process, thereby disrupting the Reaper invasion protocol. Although triumphant in this endeavor, the Protheans faced an inescapable fate. Due to dwindling numbers and other challenges, they faded into obscurity, leaving their mark as a silent guardian for future species. Millennia later, in our age, Sovereign, the colossal dreadnought dwarfing all known vessels, was first found by Eden Haddad's team in the Perseus Vale, and was later studied by Dr. Xu Qian. Notes from the Doctor, stolen in 2165 CE, led Saren Arterius to the Behemoth, and for a time, many believed it served as Saren's flagship. However, Commander Shepard uncovered the truth. Sovereign was a Reaper, responsible for the Prothean extinction, and intended to usher in the next Reaper invasion. This realization shifted the galaxy's perspective, making the Reapers an immediate threat to everyone. Sovereign's plans to restart the cycle hit a snag when the Keepers didn't respond to its signal. For its Reaper to call forth its kin from dark space, it needed to access the Citadel to manually activate the array. And aware of the Citadel race's collective strength, a direct assault by a single Reaper would be suicidal. Sovereign eventually discovered the conduit and managed to convince a significant portion of the Geth to ally with it.
I remember that. That was really cool.
It manipulated Saren to decipher the location of the conduit using Prothean beacons, deploying the Geth to handle the heavy lifting. By 2183 CE, everything was in place. Sovereign launched a fierce attack on the Citadel, while Saren used the conduit to breach its defenses. Yet, against all odds, Commander Shepard's team halted Saren's advance, and the Alliance fleet managed to obliterate Sovereign. This victory, however, only brought the galaxy a brief respite. Knowing the rest of the Reaper Armada lurked in dark space, Shepard pledged to find a way to thwart their inevitable return. Following the dramatic confrontation with Saren and Sovereign, a new threat arose. Human colonies were suddenly and mysteriously disappearing, their populations taken by the elusive Collectors. Cerberus, a controversial pro-human organization, deduced the Reaper involvement and saw it necessary to bring Shepard back into action to confront this new menace. Throughout the investigation, Shepard unravels a string of
saving
dark
Caden
truths.
next time.
Humanity, due to its vast genetic diversity, and the fact that it posed a significant enough threat to halt a Reaper, had become a prime target. Shepard knowing this was in large part due to him and his actions against Sovereign. This interest was made evident by the Collector's relentless focus on human colonies. And most shockingly, Shepard discovers that the Collectors were not always the monstrous entities they appeared to be. They were once Protheans, the last dominant species of the galaxy before humans. But after their defeat, the Reapers grotesquely transformed them, repurposing the Protheans into obedient, twisted pawns of their own grand design. The captured humans are transported to the Collector base, where they undergo a horrifying transformation. They are liquefied and integrated into the construction of an unfinished Reaper. This design is distinctly human, a nightmarish amalgamation of familiar anatomical features and alien machinery. The Reaper's construction method confirms Edie's hypothesis that the creation of such Reapers is a grotesque form of reproduction for their kind. By the time Shepard and the team infiltrate the Collector base, the human Reaper is well
That thing was
underway.
pretty interesting
Its
to
immense
destroy,
skeletal
too.
Structure eerily resembling a human's. The scale of this atrocity becomes clear. Tens of thousands of human lives have been consumed to create this monstrosity. However, with determination and a fierce resolve, Shepard manages to halt the construction and ensure the human Reaper's destruction. Though the Collectors are defeated and their sinister project squashed, the victory is bittersweet. The looming threat of the Reapers remains, and is even more imminent than before. Harbinger, now without its underlings, intensifies its approach towards the galaxy with the entire Reaper fleet in tow. This sets the stage for a confrontation of cosmic proportions. The Reaper War. The discovery of Alpha Relay's significance sends shockwaves throughout the Alliance. Situated in the Bahak system, it becomes clear that the relay is the Reaper's gateway to flood the Milky Way, allowing them unparalleled access throughout the galaxy. Dr. Kenson, aware of the unfathomable threat it poses, orchestrates a desperate plan to obliterate the relay by crashing an asteroid into it.
The Arrival
Though it's a
DLC,
drastic
I remember
move,
that.
The cost of inaction could spell doom for countless lives. However, the Reaper artifact Dr. Kenson's team is studying is more than just an informative relic. It exudes an insidious influence, ensnaring the minds of those who come in contact with it. The very researchers seeking to thwart the Reapers fall victim to indoctrination, a timeless tactic that they picked up from their creators, the Leviathans. The plan to destroy the Alpha Relay is brought to fruition. The Bahak system is decimated, a cataclysmic explosion wiping out the relay, and tragically, the planet Eratot, along with its 300,000 Batarian inhabitants. This heart-wrenching decision, though grim, provides the Milky Way with a temporary reprieve, slowing the inexorable approach of the Reapers. However, it also raises questions about the cost of survival and the moral choices war imposes. While many doubted and
300,000
ridiculed Shepard's dire warnings of the Reaper invasion, not all turned a blind eye. From the shadows emerged a mysterious figure, the Benefactor, who seemingly shared Shepard's concerns. Recognizing the weight of Shepard's assertions, this enigmatic ally, driven by an unwavering determination to safeguard the future of the Milky Way, undertook a monumental endeavor. Gene Garson's ambitious project, the Andromeda Initiative, was bold and idealistic, initially teetering on the brink of
Mass Effect
financial
Andromeda
collapse.
then.
The initiative's fate dramatically shifted with the intervention of the Benefactor's funds. Reinvigorated with newfound purpose and resources, the Andromeda Initiative morphed from an ambitious dream into a tangible beacon of hope. Its mission was clear: to transport a diverse mix of Milky Way species to the neighboring Andromeda galaxy and establish a new home far from the impending Reaper cataclysm. Despite the immense challenges,
so that's
both
what
logistical
Mass
and
Effect
technological,
Andromeda is about.
The Andromeda Initiative rapidly prepped for its ambitious voyage. As the Reaper threat cast an ever-growing shadow over the Milky Way, the Initiative's ARC ships took to the stars. Carrying roughly 100,000 hopeful colonists, they embarked on a voyage to a new galaxy, leaving behind a home on the precipice of war and the threat of extinction. In 2186 CE, a mere 6 months after the catastrophic destruction of the Alpha Relay, the lurking dread of the Reaper invasion became a reality. Emerging from the obscurity of dark space, the Reapers initiated their galaxy-wide assault on advanced organic civilizations. Their onslaught commenced with the Volar system, deep within Batarian space, and almost immediately, and with chilling efficiency, they obliterated the Batarian hegemony.
Tricabyssal, Celia Nebula, Ethon Cluster, Hades Gamma, all in trouble. We're losing the galaxy fast, Shep.
The pace of the Reaper invasion was breathtaking. In what felt like a blink of an eye, Earth was under siege. Its defenses were quickly overwhelmed, and it became a battleground. Simultaneously,
Dude, I watch
the
a
Systems
Mass
Alliance
Effect live
Navy,
action
once
movie
the
or TV
pride of
show. That'd be
human
cool.
military strength, found itself outmatched and began a desperate retreat. The Turian hierarchy, known for its military prowess, was not spared either. They faced a massive offensive from these ancient synthetic adversaries. Weeks that followed felt like a nightmarish blur. Population hubs across the galaxy were either subjugated or eradicated as the Reapers pushed forth without any hint of mercy. Back on Earth, they methodically decimated the planet's infrastructure, targeting satellites and the long-defunct nuclear missile silos. But it wasn't sheer force that the Reapers employed. They also engaged in psychological warfare. Broadcasts were sent out across the globe, inviting Earth's leaders to enter their massive superstructures under the pretense of negotiating peace. However, those that were familiar with the Reapers' insidious tactics understood the grim reality behind these invitations. It was to remove the several heads of leadership across Earth and use them to indoctrinate and subdue humanity, ensuring their complete dominance. In the aftermath of the Geth-Quarian conflict, it became increasingly evident that forging alliances and mutual cooperation were essential for the survival of the galaxy. With every decision and alliance made, Shepard's impact on the warfront deepened. The unification of the Krogan and Turians was a game-changer, not only for their respective species, but for the larger galactic community. Curing the genophage, the sterility plague that almost ended the Krogan, would bring newfound hope and rejuvenated spirits among them. And the presence of Krogan troops significantly bolstered the Allied forces against the Reapers. While the Reapers, on the other hand, saw opportunities everywhere. The long-standing hostility between the Geth and Quarians presented a prime chance to subdue two adversaries at once. By offering the Geth upgrades in exchange for subservience, the Reapers almost turned the tide of war in their favor. However, Shepard's tactical genius and the combined strength of the migrant fleet neutralized the Reaper-infested Geth, liberating them from the stranglehold of indoctrination. But what stayed with Shepard, more than the fiery explosions or raging battles, were the words of the dying Reaper destroyer. Its ominous message, stating that the cycle of extinction must persist, hinted at a deeper, cosmic purpose that transcended even the Reaper's understanding.
It is inevitable.
This revelation, combined with the knowledge
It's
that
like
not
Thanos,
all Geth
I
were
am
free,
inevitable.
and some did still serve the Reapers, would foreshadow the immense challenge ahead. The invasion of Thessia was a massive blow to the morale of the galactic forces. The Asari were revered for their wisdom and longevity, but were now on the verge of succumbing to the Reaper's onslaught. Thessia's majestic temples and ancient libraries, repositories of knowledge spanning millennia, were now under threat of being lost forever. Commander Shepard and his allies attempted to provide support, but the sheer magnitude of the Reaper invasion, combined with their sudden interest in Thessia, raised questions about the planet's secretive history and what the Reapers sought to uncover. While the battle raged on Thessia, Sanctuary became another point of interest. Originally presented to the public as a refuge from the war, it soon became clear that the facility had darker intentions.
Oh yeah, it was Miranda's
Unbeknownst to many
loyalty
refugees
mission, or
seeking safety,
however
they
you
were
want to
merely
call them.
lab rats for Cerberus's twisted experiments in its bid to harness and repurpose Reaper tech. Henry Lawson's ambitions and his disregard for the innocent lives drew the ire of many. When the Reapers attacked Sanctuary, it wasn't just about stopping Cerberus. It was a clear message. No one would be allowed to challenge or control them. The Reapers' swift response was a testament to the potential threat Lawson's research posed, and a stark reminder of their surveillance capabilities. As Shepard and the crew of the Normandy continued their journey, every piece of intel, every skirmish, and every encounter provided valuable insights into the Reaper's strategies and objectives. The need to rally the galaxy's races and devise a coherent plan of action against the Reapers became more pressing than ever. The revelation that the Leviathans, apex creatures of their time, were the creators of the very first Reaper was a significant moment in the galaxy's understanding of this threat. The Leviathans, with their ability to mind control, were once considered gods by lesser species, and brought a profound change to the dynamic of galactic war against the Reapers. With the Leviathans now standing alongside the galactic forces, a rare glimpse of hope began to shine through the seemingly insurmountable darkness. Because the Reapers, for all their might and relentless drive, had underestimated their ancient foes. The ability of the Leviathans to influence and manipulate was a game-changer, as the Reapers themselves fell victim to the very tactics they employed against organics, with the Leviathan artifacts deployed in key conflict zones. The once indomitable Reaper armada found themselves struggling against internal strife, as some of them turned against each other. However, while the involvement of the Leviathans brought a strategic advantage, it also posed a moral dilemma for Commander Shepard and the galaxy's leadership. Aligning with beings who had previously played gods, subjugated countless other species, raised concerns about the post-war landscape of the galaxy. With the Leviathans, once the dust settled,
That was still a cool
returned
scene.
to their old ways. Still, with the Reaper threat at their doorstep, the galaxy's inhabitants had little choice but to harness every available resource and ally, regardless of the consequences. Despite the insurmountable odds, Commander Shepard's relentless will and the unity of the galaxy's diverse species set the stage for one final confrontation. At the heart of the conflict was the mysterious power of the Crucible and its hidden capabilities. Its design, originating from countless cycles and improved upon with each unsuccessful stand against the Reapers, culminated in this last attempt for the current galactic cycle. As the final battle raged on, the cost was immeasurable. Countless ships from every civilization fought bravely against the colossal Reaper fleet, each knowing that this could be their last stand. On Earth, ground forces from various worlds faced the overwhelming numbers and devastating power of the Reapers. The sight of the Citadel hovering over Earth, once a beacon of unity and progress, now represented the grim shadow of annihilation. When the Crucible finally docked with the Citadel, a great weight rested on Shepard's shoulders. The choices made would reverberate throughout the galaxy and determine the fate of all life. Would it mean the total destruction of the Reapers, potentially at the cost of all synthetic life? Could they be controlled and put to use for the betterment of the galaxy? Or was there a chance for synthesis, a merging of organic and synthetic, leading to a new step in evolution? The galaxy held its breath, awaiting the decision that would shape its destiny. With this revelation, the entire history and purpose of the Reapers became clear. They weren't simply machines of war or instruments of annihilation. They were a byproduct of a much grander vision, born from the needs to understand and reconcile the dichotomy between organics and synthetics, a cyclical problem that kept reoccurring throughout galactic history. The Catalyst explains that the Reaper's cycle of destruction was its solution to this problem. By storing the essence of these civilizations in Reaper form, it believed it was preserving them, allowing other life in the galaxy to continue to evolve, albeit under their strict parameters. Shepard is then presented with multiple paths by the Catalyst. The first is to take control of the Reapers, directing them using Shepard's own consciousness. Another is to destroy them altogether, but with the potential collateral damage to other synthetic beings, like the Geth and his own AI, Edie, even the synthetic elements in his own body.
I forgot about that.
The third option,
Edie.
Synthesis.
I was surprised when I saw her name on that,
life into a new
honoring the Fallen
existence,
board,
erasing the line between them entirely. Each choice carries its own set of moral and practical implications. Destruction might bring immediate peace, but at what cost? Control might allow for a benevolent use of the Reapers, but could Shepard or any other being truly govern such power without corruption? Synthesis is the most unpredictable of all, promising a new era, but radically altering the nature of life as we know it. In this final moment, the weight of countless civilizations, both those that failed in the past and all those striving in the present, rested on Shepard's shoulders. Whatever is chosen will shape the course of the galaxy for eons to come. The future of every species, every individual, hinges on this single pivotal moment. And once that decision was made, the impact on the Milky Way was profound. In the wake of the destruction, the cost is palpable. The memory of the Reapers lingers like a scar on the galaxy, a haunting reminder of the cycle and the sacrifices made to break it. But with it comes hope. The species of the galaxy come together like never before, rebuilding and re-establishing connections severed by the war. Old hostilities are set aside in favor of mutual growth and prosperity. Memorials are erected across planets, and tales of Commander Shepard and the Normandy crew become legendary, passed down through generations as a beacon of hope and resilience. With Control, the galaxy witnesses an era of unparalleled peace and stability, with the Reapers acting as guardian sentinels. The Milky Way flourishes under their protection. Their terrifying presence now serves as a deterrent against internal and external threats, those that might come from another galaxy. While some view the Reapers with caution, over time they become to be seen as indispensable custodians of the galaxy, and their history of Harbingers of Doom overshadowed by their new role. Under Shepard's directive, they assist in
synthesis sounds like a good option too.
Worlds, becoming architects of rebirth. The synthesis ushers in a renaissance of understanding and unity. The hybridization of organics and synthetics creates a society where difference no longer breed conflict. Everyone shares a collective empathy, understanding each other's hopes, fears, and aspirations. The Reapers too, now possessing the emotions and experiences of the species they once harvested, aid in the reconstruction. Their vast knowledge is shared freely, leading to technological and societal advancements that would have been inconceivable before. The line between machine and man is forever blurred, giving rise to a new era of coexistence. The Refusal carries the heaviest burden of them all. As the Reapers finish their harvest, the galaxy becomes silent once more. But the seeds of hope are sown by the past. The lessons from Commander Shepard's time and the recordings
the secret ending
Sony would guide the next civilization, serving a similar role to the Protheans that were harvested before them. And though this cycle is lost, the fight is far from over. The Reapers may have won this battle, but the war given enough time and perseverance, can still be won. And so the legend of Shepard lives on, a testament to the indomitable spirit of all life in the galaxy. A beacon that shines even in the darkest of times. The choices made reverberate throughout history, being the one to kill, become the leader of, or integrate the Reapers. Those shapers of destiny for countless trillions of lives. That's it for the breakdown, and as for behind the scenes facts, the Reapers resetting the galaxy pulls from a lot of real world religious concepts, many from Christianity and Hinduism. The 4 yugas or ages represent
there's a lot of like religious
ever-repeating
correlations
cycles
between games
that last
and all
thousands of
that.
years, and have super intelligent beings intervening and guiding humanity through these ages. While the overall cynical tone toward the true nature of the gods of old does put an interesting twist on objects of reverence on Earth, like the pyramids or great temples. And even these individuals could be seen as forms of husks, with their minds being taken over via that indoctrination process, spreading a culture that makes us obedient sheep, awaiting slaughter when the Reaper comes. All the way up to modern day rock bands being manipulated by the mind control techno gods.
Boys, they're cult.
And the whole embodiment of the chosen in the Reaper bodies continues that dark twist on scripture, like 1 Corinthians 15, with lines talking about what our bodies will be like after Judgment Day, when we receive our new bodies. Think about how this matches up with the Catalyst AI, realizing that the Reaper form provides immortality, being in a much more powerful body merged with the immaterial energy intelligence networked in the clouds, dwelling far off in the heavens. But some will ask, how are the dead raised? With what kind of body will they come? How foolish. What you sow does not come to life unless it dies. When you sow, you do not plant the body that will be, just a seed, perhaps of wheat or of something else. But God gives it a body that He has determined, and to each kind of seed He gives its own body. So it will be with the resurrection of the dead. The body that is sown is perishable, it is raised imperishable. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised
This guy
in
really
power.
did his research when it came to the
sown
Bible.
A natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. For I declare to you, brothers and sisters, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, nor does the perishable inherit the imperishable. Listen, I tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed. In a flash, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, the dead will be raised imperishable, and we will be changed. For the perishable must clothe itself with the imperishable, and the mortal with immortality. When the perishable has been clothed with the imperishable, and the mortal with immortality, then the saying that is written will come true. Death has been swallowed up in victory. And even early Christian sects, often lumped under the vague term of Gnostics, some had the idea of an evil creator god, with archons that wished to suppress us. This would be how an enlightened one saw the Leviathans, the gods that their fellows worshipped, seeing that they were actually the source of enslavement. Now, of course, those are just some rough summarizations of these religious concepts, and there are countless versions of these groups. There's lots of Christian thought on how original sin would work for other alien species. Would there need to be a being incarnated like Jesus for each of these species? And if you don't think so, and you think that these aliens might have not fallen, that's exactly what some alien species would say to try and lord over us. Whole video documentaries could be made on just this, but it is interesting that the refusal to choose option is pretty well considered to be the worst option. It's the closest to Shepard having no serious effect on the galaxy. It's the one where you and all the work you did in the game have the least impact.
then it'll be meaningless.
You have some faint hope that a future generation will be able to use your work and finally defeat the Reapers. But really you're supposed to destroy, control, or synthesize the Reapers. And in that, it might be a critique of Christ's life, at least more of a critique of things like the Buddha, who would lose the idea of the Dharma kind of warriors of Hinduism. Whereas Shepard's story, though pulling on a lot of religious themes, is really a story about creating your own destiny, the ultimate assertion of your own willpower.
He was right, but even a dead god can dream.
And of course the idea of terrifying and incomprehensible alien intelligences waiting far off in the depths of space is a feature of Lovecraftian horror. There's a direct reference to Cthulhu when one of the recordings by the survey team aboard a derelict Reaper mention how, quote, even dead gods can dream. And it plays with the philosophy of cosmicism, that when you understand that some species could have existed for millions or billions of years longer than us, the tech and the way they can manipulate us, their long-term goals, are simply impossible for us to understand at our scale, and it will inevitably result in these sort of cult worship. There's also similarities with the Borg from Star Trek, or a frightening version of what the synthesis ending could be, attaining perfection by subsuming all
I
other
didn't watch Star
civilizations
Trek, so
into
I
their
can't say much
collective
about that.
consciousness. They even used nanoprobes as a way of assimilating other races, much like the nanotech used to reduce people to soup, build their Reapers or their ground troops. There was removed dialogue from Mass Effect 2, where EDI states that the captive humans were being reduced all the way down to the atomic level. And so it had a sort of map of your brain down to the atomic level of each of your neurons,
dude, look at that.
so it could make a neural network, thus storing the knowledge and essence of an individual. But it's a bit of a sci-fi jargon salad. Everything we understand about how memories are formed does not mean you would know anything about the subjective experience, the contents of the mind, just because you could give me an atomic map of the brain. It doesn't tell me any of the epiphenomenal, personal, subjective experience in that mind. We get an interesting line from the Harbinger side of it, who seems to really believe that the Reaper is a form of rebirth, and he states that Shepard is the one who's wasting lives. And it has been confirmed by the writing teams that there are no Reapers in the Andromeda Galaxy, while writer Chris Helper based the Reaper's harvest rate on comparative numbers from livestock slaughterhouses' annual kill rate. That's how he came up with the number of 1.86 million people being processed by about 4,000 ships per day, to arrive at 2 billion casualties at the end of the war. Though we get stats of only 400 slaughter ships because of a typo dropping that extra zero. If you made it this far, please hit that like button. It's the best way to help me out. Leave a comment and subscribe to see more, and check out these videos, I'm sure you'll like them. But most important of all, remember, if the higher being is lying to you and doesn't see you as an equal, it may be preparing you for slaughter. And may you be a good shepherd. Always.
Okay, guys, we did it. Almost 15 minutes worth of footage talking about the Reapers. Most of it I do know because I did play the game, and it was really great to like recap on some things here and there. And what I really like about Metalore, Metalore is the fact that Meta Nerds Lore, God, is the fact that he also, like, at the end of the video, just for a few minutes, he makes like these connections between what is said in the game and also these like religious correlations, like what was said in the Bible, what was said here, and like some beliefs, some religions, things like that. So I really like that. And as I suspected, he did mention the Leviathans and just recapped a few things on what happened in Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, the Sovereign, and also Saren, the Harbinger, and also several classes of the Reaper ships. Like some of them are sentient, some of them aren't. Some of them are really effective when it comes to weaponry. Some are just troop transports, things like that. So I really like that. So this was a really great video, and I really enjoyed it. So that's all I got for today. Those are just my like 2 cents on this video. So Nerds Lore, if you're watching this, great job. And so anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure to go check out Meta Nerds Lore, his channel. He's got a lot of great videos. He doesn't just talk about Mass Effect, he talks about Star Wars and many other things. I forgot what other franchises he talks about, so my bad. So make sure to go check out his channel, and also hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. And thank you so much for your support, guys. I really do appreciate it. And also thank you to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are all amazing. You guys are the reason why this channel keeps on going, and why I watch like long videos and try to get them out to you guys as soon as possible. So without anything else, I'll see you guys next time.